This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Okay, today's video is the first one in a little series that I'm putting together about playing blues lead guitar. One of the most requested topics that I get asked for by students. Excuse me, itchy nose. The problem many people seem to have is that they've learned a few, bits and pieces of lead guitar from tabs, and can play them, reasonably well in a lot of cases. But they don't understand what they're playing, and they don't know how to extrapolate from that and be able to, come up with their own lead guitar parts based upon what they've learned. It's just, they've learned it parrot fashion, and that's all they can do. So hopefully this series of videos will address that problem if all goes according to plan. We're going to be starting with some basic scale ideas and scale patterns and chord sequences, and we'll eventually kind of move it on little by little up to some sort of quite advanced concepts. Today we are going to be playing over this chord sequence here, which as you can see is a regular 12-bar blues in the key of G, using mainly the chords of G7, C7 and D7. I say mainly because in the backing track that you're going to hear me playing over shortly, there are a few little embellishments and flourishes, that kind of play around the edges of those chords, but essentially it's those three chords. And over the top of those chords, you're going to hear me soloing with just a single scale, the G minor pentatonic scale. Now, I did a video recently entitled "What Makes Blues Bluesy?" or "What Makes Blues Sound Bluesy?" I think it was, which addresses why that is the ideal scale to play over those chord sequence and over those chords, and why that chord sequence works and what makes it sound bluesy. So, if you're interested in, kind of the background to it, I've linked to that video down below. So, without further ado, let's take a listen to a typical 12-bar blues lead guitar solo using the G minor pentatonic scale over the chords of G7, C7 and D7. Here it is. So there you go, 3 times through the 12-bar sequence, playing licks based upon the G minor pentatonic scale. It's important that you don't just run up and down the scale, because that's just going to sound like somebody running up and down the scale. Lick building in and of itself is an entire art form, and I've done another video on that, basically how to take the notes of a scale and turn them into something that sounds musical rather than just scale-like. So once again, I shall link down to that down in the description below, how to basically make a scale sound like a solo. So check that out. But I can give you a few pointers right here. First of all, don't just run up and down the scale. That's always a good ploy. What you need to do is you need to create licks. You need to create phrases, and there's a clue in that terminology, phrases. We're very much copying speech patterns here, and speech is often organised into questions and answers, a dialogue. So here is an example of a question and answer phrase played using that G minor pentatonic scale. You'll see it on screen where it says question and then where it says answer, and you can hear how the two balance each other out. So that's question and answer phrasing, and if you go back and listen to the rest of that solo again, you'll hear that all over the place. There's also the fine art of repetition, taking a basic little phrase, a little motif as we call it, and restating it, and maybe just varying it, maybe with a slightly different ending each time you play it. Again, I was doing plenty of that in the solo that you just heard. If you didn't notice it, here's one excerpt from it where I'm doing that. And it goes without saying that in order to make your individual phrases sound like individual phrases, you need to separate them. You need to punctuate the sentences, basically, by leaving gaps. So here's an example, just a randomly chosen snippet from that solo again, where I've flagged up where the pauses are, the gaps between the phrases, which is what makes the whole thing sound like a bunch of phrases, not just one long barrage of notes. Here it is. And that entire solo is tabbed out in full in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, and you get a little diagram showing where all of the positions of the G minor pentatonic scale are, and you get the full jam track to play along with if you are one of my Patreon supporters. All of that is up on my Patreon page as a special little thank you to all of my, as I say, wonderful Patreon supporters. I am so grateful for your support, chaps. Much appreciated. It's only $3 a month, and you get all of these additional resources that go along with these video lessons on YouTube, and you can see the address there if you're interested, and the link is also in the description, as is the link to this wonderful beast. Let me get the strap out of the way. This is, as I'm sure regular viewers to this channel know by now, this is my Scott Guitars UK John Robson signature model, a handcrafted artisan boutique guitar made in the UK for a price that you would be quite surprised at. It's very good value for what you're getting. If you're interested in one of those, again, as I say, link in the description. And that is pretty much what I've got for you today, folks. Hope you found the video useful, informative, and maybe a little bit inspiring. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? I'll just mention the Friday live stream. As you probably know, 5 p.m. GMT on a Friday. We have a live stream. It's basically just a bunch of people talking about guitars and having a beer on a Friday. What's not to like about that? Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there. But till then, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.